I know one that sounds really fancy. I know about the law of diminishing marginal utility,
Well,
and I understand price elasticity of demand.
I mean, there were some words there.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine, probably your weekly antidote to bad news. The show where we rummage through the smoking wreckage of the headlines looking for little bits that are still warm and edible. With me this week are Gemma and Shelley. Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
How are we both?
I'm good. Actually, sorry, I forgot to mention this before, but has anybody been following in the news about the lost capybara, the capybara that escaped from Marwell Zoo?
I have had a
No,
little see at that one.
I've not
Yeah, that
followed the
because
story.
that's 15 minutes drive from where I live. And then I saw, someone caught it on video when they were walking their dog.
Hmm.
That was in Twyford. But when I saw it, I thought, I was like, they said, oh, someone caught this near Winchester. And I was like, that's the water meadows. That's the water meadows near me. And I was about to go out and start capybara hunting kind of thing. And like was really really excited, and I keep hoping it's going to turn up in the garden, but I don't know. I thought I just need to look. I can't see anything to say whether it's been found yet or not.
Are you putting some tasty treats out in the garden to try
I
and lure it in?
Yeah, they're like big guinea pigs, aren't they? So they probably, if you put a load of timothy hay out, they're probably quite like. Okay, so it
Aren't you
says,
worried that one of your cats is going to drag its body home one day?
oh, they would like to try, but I think it's actually bigger than a cat.
Oh,
So yeah, it
Visible, aren't
says, right, news from Hampshire and Isle of Wight. Capybara search narrows in bid to reunite sisters. It's about as exciting as it gets in Winchester, which is great,
fantastic.
really. I'm very privileged in that
Well, it's right
sense.
because Gemma is basically under some form of chemical attack at the moment at
I
work.
am. Okay, I'm literally putting on eye drops because think I have half of Anglia Square in me,
Oh,
whether it's in my eyes or in my throat or up my nose, sinuses, eyes.
So for our non-Norfolk listeners, not just our American ones, which I'm sure is important to mention,
All of them.
yes, sorry,
Anglia
Stu's not
Square as it
here.
was a rather hideous 1960s shopping,
Brutalist.
yeah, development that is being demolished at the moment. But it's quite a big area, and Gemma's lucky enough to work just across the road from the demolition site.
It's lovely.
And this demolition is going to be going on for about 6 months.
Yeah. And we're a couple of weeks into having what have I got? Conjunctivitis, I believe my optician told me I had. Obviously not the contagious kind. I didn't realize there was another kind, but that's going on in my eyeballs.
And has your
Yeah.
office been inundated with rats? Because I know Anglia Square was inundated with rats, and of course, once they get knocked down, they're all just going to run for it. I'm
Well,
just wondering where they've gone.
there is a neighbouring business where I think they may be hiding out.
I thought it might be appropriate maybe to open this week by addressing the bad news soup that we seem to be drowning in the UK right now. And while I want to acknowledge that, yeah, some of it is pretty bad, actually, there are some positive sides to even these stories. So, first up, plague is back, baby. The meningitis outbreak in Kent has managed to displace Donald Trump's war against the Epstein files off the top of the headlines this week. That's impressive because usually nothing can beat Trump for sheer attention seeking. He's basically the human equivalent of a car alarm that learned how to sue people. So the meningitis outbreak, I mean, it's genuinely awful, frightening story, and with COVID still hanging around in the national memory like a stain on the carpet, our thoughts are absolutely with everyone affected, with families, with their friends. So where you might reasonably ask, is there any good news in that? Well, for me, it's in the reaction. The NHS responded immediately and massively. Thousands got antibiotics fast. Emergency vaccination rollout kicked in, public awareness went through the roof overnight. It amazes me how the NHS can do that kind of thing. 30,000 people treated in days. I can't even get through to my GP before the phone system starts gaslighting. How can this be the same organisation that can't tell me whether my appointment is at 3:10 or sometime between now and the collapse of the moon, but apparently can mobilise at the first sign of actual danger, like I don't know, a bureaucratic version of the Avengers. Two modes, as far as I can tell, which is please hold and military precision deployment.
A lot of that is probably to do with separate funding because everything
Right.
is just about money. And the thing is, like, there will suddenly be like, this isn't going to be the money that's in the pot for all the routine stuff, which there isn't ever enough of. So this is going to be suddenly an injection of like an emergency fund to provide everything that's needed. And unfortunately, as well, a lot of the time, though, it is if it gets lots of media attention and people are actually asking questions. But I mean, that's not, well, actually, it's not unfortunate. That goes back to like that patient power thing. Patient power can work if everyone works together and starts making demands and saying what's going to happen about this. Then actually, you usually see the government will then respond, because normally, actually, the professionals in the NHS would like these things to be readily available all the time, but yeah, they just don't give us the money for it.
So the horrible story, but it does show that when it matters, we do have systems that actually kick in and seem to work. Next up, the economy is still doing something. This week's economic update it's not good, but also it isn't time yet for us to start finding our teeth into points, dressing in leather, and turning into road warriors. Interest rates held steady instead of panic rising. Economy still growing, tiny but alive. Wages are still increasing. So there's no immediate spiral despite global pressure. I would liken the UK economy to that one colleague who looks really ill, sounds really ill, but still comes to work even though they're contagious, but insists they're absolutely fine and they just need a coffee.
And everyone wants them to go home because they're frightened that they're going to make them sick as well.
And then, of course, there's inflation, one of those things everyone talks about as though they understand it. I mean, politicians mention it, economists mention it, people on breakfast TV mention it. No one really understands inflation, though, do they?
No, not really.
I think we just collectively agreed to pretend we do,
Mm.
because what we get. I mean, Gemma, how many economic terms do you actually understand?
None.
I know what the pound is.
Then, obviously, at the moment, we've got the regular national tradition of fuel panic. The moment there's even a whisper of shortages, prices spike, and Britain reacts as though petrol has betrayed us personally. But weirdly, I think there is a bit of encouragement there too, because governments are reacting earlier than in past crises. Energy diversification, that's improving. Public awareness of energy use is much higher than it used to be. So it's not the smoothest, calmest learning curve ever, but it is still a learning curve. We're not pretending that bad stuff isn't bad, but we are trying at least to point out that every now and then, if you look closely enough, there's still things like competence and resilience and adaptation and occasionally functioning systems. So that's nice. Okay, team, does anyone happen to know what the world's leading environmental health risk is?
Is it air pollution, Jim?
Shelley, I don't know how you got that, but yeah, it is air pollution. And this is a topic that's quite dear to my heart, and more accurately, my lungs as a practicing asthmatic. And let me tell you, it ain't easy being wheezy. I've always felt very strongly that air should contain slightly more oxygen and slightly less punishment. But there's good news on that front. A new report published by Breathe City says air quality has improved dramatically in some of the world's biggest cities, including Beijing, London, and Paris. 19 cities cut both fine particle pollution and nitrogen dioxide by at least 20% since 2010, some by nearly 45%. That's fantastic news for some of us who enjoy old fashioned hobbies like breathing. Air pollution remains the biggest environmental health risk in the world, though, contributing to asthma, heart and lung disease, premature births, all sort of things that put a downer on the concept of being alive. So the reason this is also satisfying is that improvements came from cities doing just little sensible things like more cycling, cleaner air zones, cleaner buses, cleaner cars, better policy, better data. So the boring answer was the useful one in the end. This is a terrible day, incidentally, for people who think every problem should be solved by shouting at immigrants. this is a good story because it ruins one of the news media's favourite plots, which is everything's getting worse forever and any attempt to fix anything is rubbish. Because this is evidence of absolutely the opposite. So he's tried stuff, it works, people breathe less poison.
I think, I don't know, maybe we should all learn to, like, you know, put up with it. Survival of the fittest.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I do get air
We
pollution
need
might
to,
feel quite invisible unless you're the
you know,
one wheezing or
in
coughing or wondering why your chest sounds like a
in a
accordion in a
few
tumble
million
dryer.
years, that will be the kind of air we need. Yeah, not now, but you know, future us in 4 million years
Yeah.
we'll thrive in that
Do you
kind.
really think there'll be many of us left in 4 million years, Shelley?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? If you don't survive it, you weren't meant to.
I feel like it's not helping your retirement plan.
That's all right. I've abandoned my that retirement plan. I'm actually thinking
Is
I might
is it fair to say
try
that?
surviving and actually retiring instead. How long do you think it will be before the tabloids claim this is a woke war on motorists?
I mean, they only have to recycle one of the many headlines they've already had, don't they?
Well,
They
yeah,
probably
they've
have like
probably already done it.
they
I've
they
missed
just
it.
take them from the archive, don't they, and put a new date on it.
Imagine being angry that children have fewer asthma attacks.
Because you like to have a
Furious
car
about
that
it.
makes a loud brum brum noise.
It's
Yeah.
woke nonsense. That's what it is, Shelley. More woke nonsense.
But you know, it is pretty decadent and foppish to insist on breathing all the time, isn't it?
I know, you're right. I'm going to get back in my box. Amazingly, though, Shelley, you found something that's even worse than woke.
I did, and you know, inspired by the woke countryside animals, such as hedgehogs. It triggered a memory for me of a childhood favourite. Can you remember the Bramley Hedge children's series,
I
children's book?
can.
Yes,
I
yeah, yeah.
They had the little maps in the beginning of the book. I love
Yes,
that.
yeah, and they had, so it was yeah, it was about sort of a community of mice that lived in a very idyllic part of the countryside in their own little area that was called Bramley Hedge. So when I looked into it, you might wish you didn't, unless depending on your political leanings. But as it turns out, those mice are pretty woke.
You
So
made me worried for a minute there, Shelley. I thought you were going to
I
say
thought you were going to say
they
they
were
were racists or
exactly.
something.
well, yeah, because I'm pretty good at finding out who all the people we love, and it turns out that they're actually pretty racist.
Marxist hedgehog, racist mice.
So these
The jungle out there.
it's a Bramley Hedge out there. Jill Barkham was the author and illustrator for these books, and she swears that there was no political meaning in them when she wrote them, and it is all very innocent. However, I will just first explain to you, in case you don't know anything about Bramley Hedge. Like Jim, I feel that you aren't particularly
These
aware.
did pass me by.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, she wrote them in the early '80s, so you would have been way beyond reading about mice in hedges. So yeah,
So just stopped.
so the mice of Bramley Hedge sort of actually follow quite a traditional life with traditional roles in it. So first glimpse, this all seems fine. So just to sort of give you an idea of what some of the mice are like. So they had Lord and Lady Woodmouse, who live in the old oak palace, and Lord Woodmouse is the head of Bramley Hedge and leads with all of the ceremonies that went on throughout the year in Bramley Hedge. Then they had their cook, Mrs. Crusty Bread, and so she was the cook at the Old Oak Palace. So of course that was a woman who was the cook at the Old Oak Palace. There's also
What else was she going to do with a name like Mrs. Krusty Bread?
exactly,
She wasn't going to brothel, was she?
it was in the yeah, that would be a brothel that you would definitely want to wear protection at. You'd need French letters for that brothel.
As opposed to the
Crusty
standard kind
breads.
of brothel.
So, oh, I've got a terrible case of crusty bread.
I just say, I love how it
You're,
looks
you're
like
one of those
Jim.
crusty bread girls, aren't you?
Yeah.
I love how it looks like Jim's taking notes about the characters. I'm imagining this little spider
Either that,
bite.
Next.
either that, or he's just had a memory of some yeast infection from a very raucous stag do.
I'm just remembering my first crab.
Yeah.
I think there could be a book in that.
There is the other cat. There's Dusty Dog. I don't know. Like, it's not. I didn't realise it was going to go this way. I didn't know it was
Quite
going to go
reasonably.
this way. I thought.
So there was who?
I thought what I was saying here was really innocent. Anyway, so Dusty Dog.
What did Dusty Dog do?
It's not. It's Dusty Dogwood.
Dusty Dogwood. Did she work for Madam
It's a he.
Dusty Bread? All right.
So Dusty Dogwood was the miller who learnt his craft from his father and his father before him. And then there's Poppy Eyebright, who was his wife, and she looks after their 3 children, Rose, Buttercup, and Pipkin. So these are all very traditional roles. It all sounds very nice and safe and woke-free. Every day they're all doing what they should be doing. All of the mice have the same colour fur. Everybody is, it's all it all seems above board. But it turns out there could be something that's actually worse than being woke. So the Bramley Hedge.
What on earth could be worse than being woke?
Oh, well, here we go. The Bramley Hedge community is actually a representation of a working anarchist communist society.
Mice are communists.
I think the reason for this is, well, I mean, I think the reason, or you could say it's the problem, is that they have something called the store stump. And this is like a community store. They've had a terrible case of the store stump.
Got it at Madam Crusty Breads.
I thought I was really clever when I wrote this. It's all gone out the window a little bit now. So, right, Mr. Apple is the warden of the store stump, and he always ensures that it's well stocked. His wife is Mrs. Apple, obviously, and she's excellent at making jams, jellies, pickles, and preserves. So there's all the mice in the community basically provide into the store stump for everybody's use. Also, if there's any problems, Mr. Apple is one of the go-to people for all sorts of issues, anything that might go wrong, floods, disasters, missing baby mice. Mr. Apple has basically got it all down. He is a very solid pinnacle point of the community, a good place to go to. So this is also like an example of the fact that they're living everyone is living in a sort of a cooperative society. There is no central government and there is no commerce, so they don't need money. Even the lord and lady share their home space and belongings with the mice and contribute into the store stump and take out of the store stump as well. They all look really innocent, they're all like wearing bonnets and hats and things. But it turns out that actually, well, I think the reason is for the author to kind of display this kind of very idyllic, kind of perfect lifestyle. It looks like you actually have to kind of remove capitalism from the equation. See what you think of that. It's up to you.
I mean, I think the idea of removing capitalism sounds fantastic, but
you lefty woke commie.
I would happily live in this commie mouse commune.
I know, it sounds lovely, doesn't it? And you get there's bakers
mixing with the Marxist hedgehogs down the road.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could kind of choose to sort of opt in or opt out of society in a way? You can.
There are people who do that.
Yeah, but can you actually go through life with saying like, oh well, I'm not going to pay any taxes at all? I mean, okay, but
If that might go.
unless you're a billionaire.
I mean, that brings us quite neatly on. You mentioned billionaires and people sort of opting out and stuff. Gemma, you've been looking into a billionaire who doesn't seem to know how billionaires should behave. And
That
this guy sounds incredibly woke to me.
I wouldn't like to confirm or deny that. I'll let the story speak for itself.
You go for it.
So he's not in the Epstein files.
I hope not.
Please, can I just point out quickly before Gemma starts that Shelley's views and opinions are her own, and they in no way represent the views
Yeah, they are.
of Everything's Fine, probably.
Imagine having billions of dollars and deciding that the best possible use for it is trees. Not tree houses, not private forest kingdoms with a moat and a laser-guarded helipad, just trees being trees. That's exactly what Epic Games founder Tim Sweeney has been doing for nearly 2 decades, quietly buying up more than 50,000 acres of North Carolina forest with one simple goal: keep it wild. While some billionaires are out there collecting super yachts the size of small nations or launching themselves into space just to see if gravity still works, Sweeney has been collecting something far more radical: ecosystems. And not for profit, for protection. He started back in 2008 when the financial crisis caused a wave of abandoned development projects. Where others saw failed resorts, Sweeney saw an opportunity to rescue land before bulldozers could get to it. Today, his holdings stretch across 15 counties, making him one of the largest private landowners in the state. But instead of fencing it off, he's been working with conservation groups and government agencies to ensure these forests stay permanently protected. Some parcels have even been donated outright, becoming part of long-term conservation trusts. And the impact? Wildlife habitats restored and protected, including rare species that rely on high elevation forests. Critical ecosystems preserved, especially in areas threatened by real estate development. Future generations guaranteed access to natural spaces that might otherwise have become luxury golf resorts with names like the Pines at Whispering Wallet Ridge. What makes this story especially charming is how unflashy it is. Sweeney isn't doing press tours or posing with saplings, he's just buying forests so they don't get flattened. It's the conservation equivalent of someone quietly paying for everyone's coffee and slipping out before anyone notices. And maybe that's the real good news here. In a world where wealth often gets spent loudly, Tim Sweeney is spending his quietly on something that can't be shown off, can't be monetized, and can't be blasted into orbit. Just acres and acres of green, breathing space. A billionaire using his fortune not to escape the planet, but to protect it.
I don't know if you saw, but earlier this year, Epic Games did have to come out and quash a rumor that Jeffrey Epstein was still alive and playing Fortnite.
Really?
Someone changed the name of their account. It was described as a player having a bit of fun. That's some lovely stuff. I wasn't particularly
Mm.
aware of Tim Sweeney.
Yeah, no,
Other
I
billionaires, and I know lots of them listen to the show. Please take note.
are people allowed into the forests? Yeah, so he keeps it open, like so people can actually go in there and camp and
That's the
Yeah.
impression that I'm getting.
yeah.
I think he's ring fenced it as well, so that like it can never be developed, which is
Mm.
all.
Ooh, yeah, so ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. How do you feel overall about animals and children?
I mean, I like animals.
How about you, Gemma?
Are we to animals with children or animals
Just
I'm
either
animal
or both.
I'm with Jim. Animals are cool, aren't they?
Yeah. So, have you ever noticed though that animals and children seem to be more drawn to some people more than others?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm I'm one of the lucky ones that children always seem to quite like me, even though I don't particularly want them to. I will be honest. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't hate children at all. I do think they're pretty cute and funny. I think they are very interesting little people. But I just usually prefer the company of the people who I can drink wine with and swear with. That is just my
Tried
default.
doing that with children?
Uh, well, it's kind of frowned upon, isn't it? And they don't really hold, and also they don't buy around, do they?
They're very tight like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, I remember through my parenting years, yeah, not that I've completely given up on being a parent now that my child's an adult. It's like, oh no, if they
Just
turn
disown
18,
them now.
you're on your own now, mate. Basically, you won't hear from me unless I need an organ donor. But yeah, so it's I just remember through those times though, like we were hosting like the birthday party or the sleepover and thing, there always seemed to be some of them that would prefer to hang out with me for some reason, and I'd be like thinking, oh, but I've just put all this food and entertainment on, and it's all kind of rolling, so now I get to kind of secretly smoke out the back of the kitchen and like, and I had like a secret like glass of wine hidden behind a plant and things, and they're kind of ruining that vibe for me. Apparently though, I should actually be kind of like pleased about this, because there is a reason that this happens, and it might be that I have an authentic presence.
Or it could be that children are very poor judges of character.
No, 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 no.
Fair
and
enough, I stand
and
corrected.
But okay, I know that does sound like quite grand for someone like me. Anyway, while I was sort of poking through the world of positive news, I stumbled across an article by someone called Lachlan Brown, who he has a background in psychology, and he tends to sort of write strategies and about mindsets and things for success in business. Yeah, so he wrote this article and he said about some people instinctively seem to have a good place with dogs and children. He said specifically dogs and children, but I think it actually runs to all animals, really. Well, maybe not all animals. I mean, sharks. like, where's
Not so much for
Shelley?
sharks.
But yeah, maybe perhaps more slightly, animals that are more domesticated. He said it actually has nothing to do with people having natural gifts of charisma or anything like that. So there you go. No natural gift of charisma. This does sound more like me, doesn't it?
It's getting more like you all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's starting to sound a bit more believable. But it's basically that people who don't have to perform, and they don't have any kind of agenda when they're there, they actually then have a kind of a more relaxed sort of demeanor around them. And very, very small children and babies and dogs are very good at picking that up. So it's kind of, you have a vibe basically, and if you're not trying too hard with them, that vibe is more relaxed. So, I mean, I usually am not trying too hard with the babies and things because I don't want to get involved, but they seem to see this as a good sign. So, I looked into this further because I'm hoping that I'm going to be considered for the Pulitzer Prize one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give it you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So you can sort of learn to be authentic by kind of like removing the social masks that we all carry all the time. And so that's kind of things like worrying about, how your appearance and what people think of your career. Do you seem like, like an influencer kind of? If you think about the things that influencers sort of run on, it will always be things like, are they using all the best beauty products, and are they doing all the best wellness and all of these kind of things? But yeah, in fact, a lot of those stuff actually don't matter. And they're actually started looking into the methods of trying to improve people's authentic presence, when it comes to like some healthcare organizations feel like it would improve staff well-being, and patient experience as well. There was actually a study in 2024 that was teaching nurses transcendental, oh Christ,
Transcendental?
transcendental meditation. So, which they would then practice 2 times a day. So this was like a randomized trial. So they did have half of the nurses not doing these practices as well. They were using other methods, but they did actually find better outcomes for the staff that actually did the meditation and following the methods that would help them be authentic, like find their authentic self. And what it did was, because basically they felt better in themselves, they felt happier and more relaxed. So then when they went to work, they were able, the work environment became more of a caring environment for the staff, which meant it then became more of a caring environment for the patients as well. It doesn't just work with animals.
Yeah. I'm sorry that Stu wasn't here this week as you were talking about influencers, because he could have done us one of his lovely influencer impressions.
Oh yeah. Oh hi, I am an influencer.
Oh, hello, Shelley stepping up.
So anyway, I wouldn't say that I was kind of working on that level of, like, you know, the meditation nurses and things like that. I think it's probably, but I would definitely say that I gave up on being cool quite a long time ago.
You
I think
used to be
that's
cool.
probably, I know I used to try to be cool, Jim.
All
There's a
right,
little
sorry.
bit of a
I'd say, yeah,
difference
okay.
there.
I get you. I'd say it seemed unlikely, but
But anyway, yeah, so that's why children like me, even though I don't want them to.
thank you, Shelley. Gemma, you look confused.
I just realised that when Stu's here, he gets all your like grr.
What?
You're very mean to Shelley in Stu's absence. That's what I'm trying to spit out.
I'm just standing in for Stu.
Well, no, no, but you're normally mean to Stu. Is that what you mean?
Oh, I
Like, Steve's
see.
usually mean to
Yeah,
Stu.
and you're usually standing up for Shelley and I, and now like the whole dynamic it's
It's
got
different, isn't it? It's different when Stu's not here.
yeah
I know.
become mean.
I know. It's just have to be nice like everywhere else. I don't have to be nice on here. No one expects it of me.
It's unbalanced now, isn't it?
No, look, actually, speaking of being nice, so Gemma, you've got a story about some of it. It's really nice. A Caller Boomer payphone.
Yeah, it is a nice one. It's a nice one. On Commonwealth Avenue, right outside a busy pavement coffee house on the Boston University campus, there's a bright yellow payphone that stops people in their tracks. It looks whimsical, almost nostalgic, but the message printed on its side is what really sparks curiosity. Call a boomer. Pick up the receiver and something quietly magical happens. The call travels nearly 3,000 miles across the country to a matching payphone in the common room of Sierra Manor, a senior living community in Reno, Nevada. There, older residents, many of whom know the phone might ring at any moment, sit nearby with a kind of gentle anticipation. They're ready for whatever conversation arrives, a quick hello, a shared laugh, or sometimes a surprisingly heartfelt exchange. But the connection isn't one way. Seniors in Reno can and do pick up their own handset and dial straight back to Boston. Fun fact, their little sign says call a Zoomer.
Do you think there's a sign that has to say, please do not abuse the seniors? Or please do not prank the seniors?
I'm just thinking about like the telephone boxes back in the day and what sort of stickers were there.
Oh,
And with that, my
Oh, no,
mind's gone
I
cool,
like to think,
cool
I think
Mrs.
it's one of those.
Crusty Bread.
Well, it's strange because I was thinking when you're describing the sort of phone boxes, it's the kind of thing that they might have in Brambley Hedge. And I quite like a phone that I could just pick up and call a communist mouse at some point.
Yeah,
It'd be beautiful,
yeah.
wouldn't it?
Or indeed call up Mrs. Krusty Bread. Yeah.
Yeah, when your partner's away.
Pass those long winter nights.
It was a business call, I swear.
Sometimes they call to check whether the students are still braving the cold. Sometimes they call just to say good morning. And sometimes they call because they've been thinking about a conversation from the day before and want to continue it. The line goes both ways, and so does the curiosity. The project comes from Matter Neuroscience, a biotech company exploring how simple human connection can boost well-being. Their idea was beautifully straightforward: create a direct line between generations who rarely cross paths and see what happens when strangers are given permission to talk. And it turns out what happens is joy. Students on their way to class pause for a spontaneous chat with someone who has lived through decades of stories. Seniors in Reno light up when they hear a young voice asking about everything from favourite recipes to life advice. Some calls last a minute, others stretch into unexpected friendship. One senior described it as a window opening. What makes the whole thing so uplifting is its simplicity. No apps, no algorithms, just two phones, two communities, and a shared willingness to pick up. In a world where loneliness affects both younger and older adults, this little yellow payphone has become a tiny engine of connection, proving that sometimes the smallest gestures can bridge the widest gaps. And every time the phone rings in Reno or a student in Boston hesitates before lifting the receiver, there's this lovely sense that something good is about to happen. A reminder that kindness can travel a long way, even through an old school handset.
Say if you were just sort of feeling quite isolated, even like at the university, then you could actually have kind of like a sort of a backup nana to talk to.
Exactly. There was a nice one of
Yeah.
the nice little stories that I read as part of this was one of the seniors asked one of the Zoomers for life advice, and the surprising answer came back of put down your phone and get and speak to people in the real world. So not only is
Really?
it kind of open up intergeneration conversation, but also kind of having a little demyth, I think, of common misconceptions.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up some stuff on this, and I mean, there's no stories about it going wrong. It's like a genuinely nice,
Sorry.
heartwarming story of connected generations.
This is where Shelley pipes up so far.
Well, that's a lovely story. Thank you, Gemma.
You're welcome.
So, our last story is one of those nerdy science ones I like, but I'm pretty sure you'll like this one too, because genuinely it is brilliant. Cancer deaths in the UK have fallen to their lowest level on record. Isn't that just genuinely huge news? I mean, cancer is one of those words when it drops into conversation, it just changes the temperature. It's not a niche concern. It's not a wellness issue. It's it's one of the biggest, bleakest things that people fear. So any real progress here has got to be considered a good thing. So I've got some figures here. According to the latest figures, the UK cancer death rate is now around 247 per 100,000 people, which is down from 355 at its peak in 1989. So that's nearly a 30% drop. So steadily over those years, science has been doing all those things that science does, form scans, vaccines, screening programs, all that sort of stuff. And it's led to more people surviving. So the nerds are cooking and the dish is home. It's not all based on one miracle cure, though, or some billionaire saying he's invented a moon laser for tumours. It's lots of small, competent things working together over time. There's been improvements in prevention, screening, diagnosis and treatment. In the last decade, death rates have fallen in several common cancers: stomach cancer by 34%, lung by 22%, ovarian by 19%, breast by 14%, and prostate by 11%. So huge victory for the deeply unsexy machinery of progress. The death rate is down, but because Britain has a bigger and older population, the actual number of people dying from cancer can still rise. So it's not a fairy tale ending or anything like that, but it is progress. There are still real problems. Some cancer types haven't improved as much. Treatment delays remain a serious issue in parts of the system. Cancer Research UK and others are basically saying it's good news, but this is no excuse to coast. So cancer hasn't packed a bag and left the country, haven't defeated it, but we have made its life noticeably less comfortable. We now need to make sure we don't do the classic British thing of seeing one good chart and deciding to underfund it, because it's obviously okay now. But it is good news, actual measurable improvement in one of the biggest health challenges there is.
I don't know, like the rates of people getting cancer are still obviously an issue, but at least getting it, you're more likely to survive now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got fewer people proportionally dying from cancer than at any point on record in the UK. In case you're wondering where Stu is this week, it's his birthday, which he's celebrated with, amongst other things, a message from Mr. Paul Chuckle himself. So what a wonderful thing that is.
Yeah, I was trying to work out for ages if it was actually AI, and I'm like, is it AI? No, it really is him. That really is him sending Stu a birthday message.
Absolutely. Yes, Gemma?
There are no words.
I think that's probably a good place to wrap things up this week, unless anyone's got anything else they want to bring up.
What, any other business?
Any other business? Yes,
I
Gemma.
I have suddenly remembered that just again, just before we started recording, I spoke to a friend and shared my boomer story with her. And she told me, "Oh, that's lovely." I don't know, neither of us have fact checked this. I didn't know whether it was something you'd like to do, Jim, because I know you are like chief fact checker.
Yeah.
But she said that she'd heard that apparently boomers are the generation where STIs are on the increase the fastest. And her thought was, wouldn't it be nice if they're phoning the Zoomers to get tips on how to avoid
Oh, is that
such?
what? So, so boomers are actually getting more sex than I am.
According to Age UK, yes. Nearly 3 times more new diagnoses of sexually transmitted infections among men aged 45 to 64 than among women in the same category.
Hang on, what?
But
45 to 64?
Hang on,
That's not boomers, is it?
no, that's not, is it?
That's that's your generation.
Chlamydia cases tripled, gonorrhea cases quadrupled,
okay.
Oh.
syphilis cases increased sevenfold in Americans aged 55 and older.
What?
We bring back the merkin.
The merkin. I was worried you were going to say merc as in like mercury, and it was a bit like, oh no, I'm pretty sure that was quite an unsuccessful treatment for syphilis, and it kind of made people significantly worse. But the merkin, does that mean? Do you think people are going to want to go back to having pubic hair?
I don't know. Well, they're going to want to cover up that, aren't they? So maybe.
So what have we learned this week? Well, even when the headlines are doing their very best to convince us we're all doomed, the truth is often a bit more complicated. Sometimes the NHS moves with astonishing speed. Sometimes cities get cleaner. Sometimes medicine quietly gets better. Sometimes boomers get up to things that they probably shouldn't. But that's fine. Why not? Well, thanks as always to Gemma and Shelley for joining me. Thank you wherever you are for listening. Look after yourselves, look after each other. Try not to let the news bully you. We'll be back next week with more reasons to believe that civilization may not be entirely beyond repair. Until then, remember, everything's fine. Probably.